In this video, we will review enrolling, screening, assessing a new consumer for the Recovery Sports Services funding stream. So the first step is to go to the Consumer tab in CIMOR, enter the last name and the first name of the consumer. If you have a middle initial, put it in there. Hit search. You always want to make sure if the consumer is already admitted in the system that you're choosing the consumer that is already admitted in the system. If in this case there's nobody else in the system by this name, so I'm going to register and admit them as a new consumer. You do need to put the birth date in. You need a gender, hearing status, address, county, and then you'll click Save. And it has given me a little bit of a warning here. It's telling me to make sure that I'm not admitting somebody that's already in the system. And the reason is because somebody named Joe Recovery is already in the system. But Joe Recovery is not this particular consumer. Joe might be the spouse. So I'm going to close this and go ahead and admit. Confirm save. Okay, so now it will ask me to enter some information. If you have relationship information, you can put it in. You don't have to. On the admission tab, you'll choose ADA, the admission date, put today's date in. You need an admission time. Oh, it's good to actually put the right thing in there. An initial contact if the contact was earlier. Admission reason. In our case, it's usually criteria met. Referral source. You can put in whatever you want to. Self is always good. And then before you save that, there's information on the other tab. It asks about employment status, occupation, but you don't have to include that. And it will ask you for race. I do have one caution. There's a screen someplace for, well, over on demographics, there is a place to put race in, and some of that will transfer over here in Hispanic origin. Okay, commitment. You do need to add this. This is voluntary, adult in almost every case for us. County. I'm not going to put a to date. I'm going to add commitment. Don't think you have to add an SMT. So now we're going to save. See messages. If you have missed something, it'll say see messages on the tab pages. Oh, so it is telling me occupation is required. I didn't think it was. Okay. Not valid. Okay, so we've saved. We've registered and enrolled the person, and they show up with an EOC under Dismas House. The other thing that we'll need to do is a couple of screenings if we're going to put this person in the recovery support system. So, first screening is the KJ. We'll add this screening. Have you ever felt you should cut down on your drinking or drug use? Have people annoyed you by criticizing your drinking or drug use? Have you ever felt bad or guilty about your drinking or drug use? Have you ever had a drink or use drugs first thing in the morning to steady your nerves or get rid of a hangover? We'll save this, then hit cancel. The next one would be the mental health screen. Click add on that. Dismas House. So within the past 12 months, this is the mental health screen. So it's asking about mental health issues. So there's many different questions on this. You get a score of for certain questions that you answer yes to. Have you talked to a psychiatrist, psychologist, therapist, social worker, counselor about emotional problem in the last 12 months? Within the last 12 months, have you felt you needed help? I'm just going to summarize these. Have you been advised to take medication? Have you been in a psychiatric emergency room? Have you heard voices? Have you been depressed? Did you attempt to kill yourself? Have you had nightmares or flashbacks? Have you experienced strong fears? Have you had any aggressive impulse or urges? Have you felt like people had something against you? You had experienced any emotional problems associated with your sexual interests or sexual activities? The period in your life when you had spent a lot of time thinking and worrying about gaining weight or controlling your eating. Then the last 12 months, if you had a period of time when you're so full of energy, your ideas came very rapidly. Then the last 12 months, if you had spells or attacks where you suddenly felt anxious. And have you had persistent, lasting, or impulse to do something over and over that caused you considerable distress? So all these are about within the last 12 months. And then we're going to click Save. Gives us a mental health score. Click Cancel. We come back over here. Okay, so the next phase of this would be completing a GIPRA. I'm going to stop this and save this one, and then we will, next we will do a GIPRA.